Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. Today we're exploring a topic that affects nearly all of us, what we wear. But more specifically, we'll be exploring the rise of fast fashion in South Korea, its environmental impact, and what can be done to reduce its harm. And we're going to do so by looking at this poster that I created that examines the sharp rise of fast fashion in South Korea across two major time periods. One from 2008 to 2012, and also from 2018 to 2022, and its environmental implications. Now, first, following the 2008 IMF financial crisis, South Korea generally experienced an inflation rate of around 4.7%, which shifted the consumer demand more towards cost-effective clothing options. And this generally led to a rise and expansion of spa brands, also known as specialty retailer of private label apparel brands, such as Spal, Uniqlo, and Zara. And between 2008 and 2012, Spal's annual sales increased by approximately 900%, while the overall fast fashion industry, the sector itself in Korea, grew by 400%. And this is much bigger than compared to the 41.7% growth that was spectated in the broader fashion industry of Korea during this period. Now, a second surge was seen between 2018 and 2022, and this was driven largely by the rise of online shopping platforms during the COVID-19 pandemic. Now, online fashion shopping revenue increased by approximately 88% during this period, with fast fashion brands experiencing especially steep gains. Musinsa, for example, which is a super famous spa Korean brand, they recorded a sales increase of approximately 950 billion Korean won between the periods of 2018 and 2020. But in contrast, the overall fashion industry of Korea during this period only grew by approximately 8.96% during the same period, while the fast fashion industry and online shopping expanded at much rapid rates. Now, this rapid consumption has generally led to significant environmental consequences. Textile waste, for one, in Korea increased by approximately 61.4% from 2018 to 2020. Other fast fashion garments, often made from polyester and acrylic, that are designed for only short-term use, they led to a high turnover and greater waste generation rate. Moreover, polyester and acrylic fabrics that require approximately 20 to 200 years to decompose, they released harmful gases like CO2 and methane into the atmosphere during the process when they were incinerated, which is generally how these clothes were dealt with during this time period and also much today. This also led to significant water pollution. Now, fast fashion also generally contributes heavily to water pollution and overuse in the sense that when we're producing a single t-shirt, for instance, it requires approximately 2,700 liters of water, while jeans require over 11,000 liters. Additionally, washing synthetic garments releases microplastic, acrylic fabrics, for instance, into the water. And this case of acrylic fabrics, they release approximately 728,000 microplastic particles per kilogram when washed in water, so it's definitely doing a lot of ocean damage. These microplastics can accumulate in aquatic environments, and in water samples that were taken from the Han River, polypropylene and polyethylene were found in high concentrations. Not only this, but also in 2016, the general global fashion industry contributed around 8% of the total greenhouse gas emissions, with projections suggesting that it could potentially reach up to 49% by 2030 if the current trends continue. Manufacturing industries and stages, from raw material extraction to fabric washing, everything were major contributions to emission, particularly in the process of producing synthetic textiles. Now, in an effort to mitigate these impacts, coordinated action is definitely necessary from both policymakers and consumers. And some of my general suggestions for what different stakeholders of society can definitely do to alleviate this issue are as follows. I, for one, believe that governments could, to this end, contribute by enforcing extended producer responsibility regulations, also known as EPR regulations, that regulate companies and obligate them to manage their post-consumer waste instead of just letting go of their responsibility once the product is actually in the market. But I think we can also prohibit the destruction of unsold goods, which can generally increase reuse and recycling, and this has also been implemented in France, so that's a case of success. Consumers can also definitely contribute by perhaps supporting brands that are certified for their sustainability, or even reducing overconsumption by wearing garments more frequently and also extending the product life cycles. And that is pretty much it for me. Thank you for watching this video, and please stay tuned for other ones.